Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone around the world. This is BNI Qatar. I'm Mohammed Shabeem. I'm the Executive Director, and welcome to another edition of Coffee with the AD. This is happening on 24th of June, 2021. And today we have a few members who have asked some really good questions, and we're going to answer those questions. Okay. So I'll start with the first question from Shakif, actually, who came in first. So Shakib, your question was you want to discuss about the outcome of your few last week's asks, right?
Yeah.
So I believe this is your question. Can I just have you explain what your question actually is so that I can answer it better?
Actually, the outcome of my last few asks is, I have to say, no outcome actually,
Okay, so you are making asks.
but no outcome.
Okay,
Although I try to be more and more specific because I always say the company name actually, company
yeah,
name, but I need the number of procurement manager. But week before, 2 weeks back, in one Monday meeting, I asked for the procurement manager number of Miss Unigas. Okay, 3 weeks ago when we had a coffee time. Okay, 3 or 4 weeks ago when we had a coffee time. Okay, with you. That time I mentioned about this company that Unigas could be my customer. They can be my customer. So after very next meeting, okay, I asked about this procurement manager of Unigas, but last 3 weeks, I couldn't get the number.
yeah.
But
So one of the
yesterday,
yeah,
yeah,
yesterday.
sorry, day before yesterday, when I was having a conversation with one of my existing client, somehow I mentioned that okay, Unigas, since that customer, he's also from Lebanon, and Unigas owner, they are also from Lebanon. Okay, this management is from Lebanon. So I said, can I get the number of Unigas? So he told me that yes, I'm doing business with them since more than 5 years. Take the number. So anyway, I got it from another source, not through BNI. Okay.
So one of the things, yeah, so that's good. So you want to know how to actually improve the outcome of your asks, right?
Yes, yes,
Improve the outcome.
yes.
So you
Improve the
touched
outcome
on you
exactly.
touched on something which I am really trying to emphasize to members. Okay.
Sir,
All, yeah,
Unigas, GAZ,
yeah,
GAZ, not
that's okay. No
gas.
problem. Doesn't
Yeah,
okay. Unique gas. Okay.
Unigas.
So shall I answer this question? I'll for all of your benefit. So one of the things that we really have to understand is uh, BNI. Yes, it's a system, and the system requires, what does any system require? Danny, you are a computer software guy, right? Any system requires an input,
Yeah, and an
create
output
an
also. Processing,
output,
yeah,
right?
yes.
So the input that you given is your asks, right? And the output you get is based on the processing capacity. Okay. If you do not have a software in your system which can process the input you're giving, will you get the right output?
No.
You will not get it right. So that's what BNI is also about. Okay. So what BNI does is BNI basically is like a computer. Okay. You could say it like this. It's like a standalone computer, your chapter. And this computer basically has a lot of users logging in and giving it out inputs. And based on the processing capacity of the other users of this computer, you get the output. So right now, what you have to realize is if you have made an ask for a specific company more than 2 times in your chapter, you really have to understand that that company is not known to anybody in your chapter. You have to move on. You have to go to the next task. It's not
Okay.
necessary that your chapter is pretty small. It's 24. I mean, 22 right now with us, right? You have 22 members. So only the companies that these 22 people have dealt with, they will know. They can only
Okay.
refer the companies they have dealt with. And the maximum number of companies, how many companies do you think an average company in Qatar, how many clients does an average company in Qatar have? I'm not talking about very big companies like Global Vistas or Berg, but if you look at it, and what I have seen is an average BNI member who has been in the market for more than 3 years would have dealt is dealing continuously with a maximum of 10 companies, would have dealt with 40 companies, would have approached almost 300 companies. They would have approached 300 companies Okay, with 40 companies, they would have dealt once. My apologies for the phone ringing. Yeah, they would have dealt once with 40 companies, and they're continuously dealing with 10 companies. Right? Anybody who wants to, I know the numbers might go up or look smaller based on the entity, but this is the averages. Okay. So when you are making an ask, the maximum that I would put you is in between these companies, these numbers, an average of 25 companies is what every BNI member would be having. So if you multiply 22 by 25, how much do you get? You get something around 100, yeah, 22 into 25.
550.
550 companies. The fact is, when you asked multiple times for Unigas was not in these 550 companies.
Okay.
But the good thing now, okay, let's look at the good thing. After your last coffee with the ED, what you started doing is you started making a list of your customers that you want, right? You started making a list of the customers that you want, and the first among them was Unigas.
Yeah.
You do have other names in that list?
Yes, Caterpillar, I said.
Yeah, so
Caterpillar.
you have a list now. The
Yes,
fact is,
then I said
most business owners, the problem is they wait for the opportunity to come to them. Okay, they wait for the opportunity to come to them. And most people use brute force. You know what is brute force?
What is that?
Brute force. You know, it's a term that we use in, again, you know, I'm a computer science engineer, so it's something that we use in cyber attacks, brute force attack, they call it. So basically what it means is do something so many times that there is a chance it will work one time.
Okay.
Okay, that's brute force. So most business owners, they kind of use the brute force methodology when it comes to growing their business. Traditional sales tells you that, right? I'm sure this is what even in the sales teams that they teach you, right? Keep trying till you crack a client, right? So brute force methodology is what most of us follow. That's what we have been taught. Okay, we have not been taught how to network. It's only when we came into BNI that we actually understood, guys, there's a smarter way to do things, right? So when we came to brute force methodology, what happens is that it's a brute force methodology that is making you ask again and again for the same client. Think about it. Why are you keeping on asking the same Unigas when you have asked the room for 2 times, you didn't get a response? Why are you keeping on asking for Unigas and expecting a different result? It's a brute force mentality. Got it. So the brute force mentality is something that we have to change. So most business owners, before they go through some mentoring or become a BNI member where they attend the trainings and they understand that there is a different way to brute force, they keep using the brute force. They keep doing the same thing and they expect a different result each time. Sometimes the variables outside changes in their favor and they get the result. But that might be after many attempts. But the good thing with BNI is now, what happened is when you came for the meeting last time, you created a list of dream clients, favorite clients, bread and butter clients, right? We classified that last time when you came here. And then what happened is you became aware of what is the next client you want. And when you became aware, you started using all the resources at your disposal, which just doesn't include BNI. It includes your current customers. It includes your friends. It includes your family and includes a larger audience of whoever you are talking with. Okay. Your way of conversing changed. The way you're talking with people changed. Where before you were only talking about selling to them, you started talking in a way where, can you help me get more customers? Because BNI actually got you thinking, why couldn't I do that? And when you asked your existing client, what happened? He said, I'm dealing with them 5 years. Take it. This is the number.
Okay.
This is something that you really have to understand. This is what I call living BNI. Okay, many people think that what am I saying when I say live, you need to live BNI, not just do BNI when you come into BNI, right? You need to live it throughout. the day. You need to be actually practicing what we are teaching you in BNI throughout the day. And this is the reason why. So the first part of your question, many making us no outcome. Yes, I wouldn't deny, because as I told you, out of this 550 companies, there's a good chance many of them don't. So one of the best ways to actually make ask where you'll get results is to really understand the categories that is there in the chapter. Got it. Look at the categories of members who are there in the chapter. And based on the categories that they are, design your asks in a way that somebody in the room might actually respond to you. So, for example, in your chapter, let's say the manpower company, right? So, what kind of customers would he have? Think about it. So, you have heard his weekly presentations. Got it. You have heard what he says. Similarly, you have heard the weekly presentations of Manzoor, your president. You have heard the weekly presentations of everybody in the chapter. And you need to understand what is their clientele through listening to their weekly presentations. This is where many people really don't understand the importance of listening in the meeting. They think the weekly presentation is for people just asking for help. No, it's also about you designing your success by understanding what is the market approach of your fellow members, and then using your intuition, your experience to design your asks in a way where you'll get better results from your fellow members. Believe me, sit and listen for the next 4 weeks. Try doing this, okay? For the next 4 weeks, sit and listen to your fellow members. Understand what is their marketing strategy. And then when you start asking similar clients to what they say they are working with, you will see that you're getting better customers. The main reason why you are not getting oil and gas companies is there are not many people dealing with oil and gas companies in your chapter.
Okay. But Shabib sir, one thing, let me raise this point, that actually Unigas, yes, they are, they are into gas as well as they are into power generator. Okay. And power generator is something everyone's supposed to use that. Okay.
Yeah.
Generator company. And all the generator company actually are my customer for the tank, diesel tank with the storing diesel to run the generator. Okay. So Unigas, they have this division also. Okay. Generator division. And I mentioned another company called Jubilee Bros. They are completely into generator. Okay. Generator. So every generator company, they cannot run without diesel tank. Okay. So which we are providing. So do you think, I'm asking something which...
You're not asking something wrong. So you need to tell people why Unigas is an important ask for you.
Okay.
So you need to tell that I give fuel tanks for generator rental companies, and Unigas has a division that does that. And I would like to get in touch with Unigas or other generator companies that require fuel tanks.
Okay. All right.
So make that change in your weekly presentation. And next week, ask for another generator rental company. And the week after, ask for next generator. So when people understand, okay, over 3 weeks, you have been focusing on generator rental companies, people will start coming to you and talking about generator rental companies. Now, let's just ask, Danny, you are in the same chapter as Shakib, right? Are you working with, is your company or do you know anybody who is a generator rental company that needs?
Yeah, actually, I had a meeting yesterday with an heavy equipment rental company, and I'm supposed to give that referral to Mr. Shakib.
Okay.
Yeah, international heavy equipment company and national transport. So they are just near to our office. So we had a meeting yesterday, so I can share that details to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah, you can put it in BNI correct. Okay.
Yeah. So understand this at a level. Make your, so again coming back to the next part. So keep presenting about the type of customers you want. Okay, but change your ask.
Okay.
About the type, but change your ask.
Okay.
Okay. So if you are focusing on generator rental companies for 5 weeks, there's no problem. keep talking about the advantages of why generator rental companies has to work with you. And after 5 weeks or 4 weeks, change the focus market. Change the focus market. But also, as I told you earlier, shifting it week by week is also good so that people will pay attention to what you're saying. Okay. Most important thing, pay attention to every word that is spoken in a BNI meeting, because I truly believe there is a lot of hidden gems that is there in the meeting when people say something. And, I can actually come into a meeting and I can understand a lot of market trends by just listening to what people are saying, what people are asking, what kind of things they are sharing. So BNI meetings are really very powerful when it comes to these things. So I hope I have answered your question over here. Okay.
Yes, at least I came to know that I have to be more and more specific. Unigas,
exactly.
yes, they have so many divisions,
and you need to keep changing. Don't do the same thing and expect a different result. Okay.
Keep changing means the company name, or keep changing the
ask. Okay. As well as so. I'll cover what this thing a bit later, because I need to answer Kaiser's question also, which is similar to your question, but I'll be going a bit more deeper. Right, Danny, I'm going to go to your question. So your question was, how do we maximize? How can we utilize other chapters to get referrals in business? Right.
Yes.
So one of the things that I will
effectively use. Yes.
Come again.
Yeah, to effectively use. Now, for example, now we have done the conclaves, that Cochin, Bangalore conclaves, and we were able to establish some connections, and we are working on it very positively. So similar way, we have the other chapters in Qatar, and what I understand is normally I am trying to have one-to-ones with us, many of the members of the other chapters also, together to add on how we can get benefit by using the complete.
It's not something that I actually recommend very highly to pursue opportunities through the other chapters, because what time you're spending trying to get my business from the other chapters, I would recommend that you actually sit and do one-to-ones with your fellow members in your chapter itself. Because one of the things that you are actually doing is, I know that you're focusing on growth, you want to grow your business and everything. So what happens is, okay, let's cover this at 2 levels. Okay, so let's cover this question at the regional level, and let's cover this question at the inter-regional level. So what is inter-regional? Basically what we did in terms of the conclave. So I'll cover this first. So what happens in inter-regional is you're basically the same kind of service providers in 2 different economic regions. Bangalore and Hyderabad, or whichever regions that we did one-to-one conclaves with. There is no competition for you guys between you guys, because you might be competitors if you are in the same region, but you are collaborators when it comes to inter-region. So people tend to open up more and share more ways of collaboration when it is 2 different economic regions, but you both are BNI members and you want to collaborate. And we have traditionally seen bigger successes in that way. The regional level, what happens is, one of the things that we really have to understand is how we message BNI. What do we say in BNI? That you will not have any competition in your chapter, but your competitors will be there in the other chapter within the region, right? So what most people kind of really forget to focus on is that relationship building requires time. And the first year of any chapter is basically the most, or a membership, first year of you becoming a member is a very crucial time, because you really have to spend many one-to-ones with the same people before they actually understand what your customer base is and what is the kind of customers that you're looking at. So you can open your mic anytime you want to speak. I just muted because there's some background sound. So what happens is, what I usually say is, I basically tell people that really powerful, if you have done one-to-one, you only know each other. Okay. You just know each other now. Okay. When you do 2 one-to-ones, you know each other better. Okay. You know each other better. And at this stage, some referrals are passed. And you also need to take people for referral meetings where you might introduce them to some clients and so on. And at the third stage, you start the trust part at the third one-to-one. Okay. And for the from the fourth one-to-one, you really start becoming friendly and trust. It's at the fifth that you start becoming a referral partner. And from six onwards, you literally becoming clones of each other. Okay. And hopefully by this time, you would have done some referral dates also. So what is referral dates and referral meetings? So referral meetings means taking a person to introduce to a new person that you know, and the other person also takes you to somebody. A referral date is where you spend the whole day with the person, where you meet at least 6 clients, 3 of which are introduced to you by the other person, and 3 of which you introduce to the other person. And in between, you can share a meal also, maybe lunch. And doing this with all members of your chapter is very important. But the moment you hit this, right? The moment you hit this, your membership becomes exponential. Because at that stage, you will have so many people who are your thought clones. You understand what is thought clones? So you know what is cloning, right? Danny, you need to open your mic if you need to respond to me.
Yeah. So, cloning I know, but thought clones no.
Yeah. So when you hire a salesperson in your company, okay.
Shabib sir, just to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Shabib sir, just can you please explain a little bit for a few seconds of what is the meaning of clone in detail, please?
So cloning literally means making a copy of you or making a copy of anything.
Okay. Yeah.
So Dolly the sheep, the most famous first cloned animal in the world, you remember Dolly the sheep, right? 25 years ago, it was there in the newspaper all the time. Somewhere in Australia, I think they cloned a sheep. Like it's a carbon copy of you physically. Okay. But doesn't help because mentally they have different thoughts. Okay. So what we need is people who have similar thoughts to us. When you hire somebody for sales, what are you expecting from them? When you hire somebody for sales in your company, what are you expecting? I think, guys, said this is one place where you can also contribute in terms of points, right? You expect them to
do sales,
get more and more
revenue.
Come again?
Bring revenue.
Bring revenue.
How? How do they bring revenue?
Go pitch into the market. Bring sales.
Yes.
Interact with more customers.
Yes. And how should they think? They should think like you, right?
Yeah, of course.
Because they should think similar targets to yours. They should think about the same kind of clients that you think we need, right? And they need to basically think about the company's goal, just like how you think it is important, right? Yes or no, Danny? This is what we need as a company, right? When we hire salespeople, we need people who think like us.
Yes.
So in BNI also, that's the process actually. What you want are people, they are not employed by you. They are your fellow members. Okay. You have no financial commitments to them in terms of paying them any salaries or any commissions or anything. So the fact is, they are out there growing their business. You are out there in the market growing your business. When they go in front of a client, they should have enough knowledge or enough awareness to actually think like you. Okay. So clone your thoughts. So they can recognize that this might not be a great customer for me, but this is a great customer for Danny. Now you understand what I'm telling you, right? How many of your fellow members are you able to think like that? With those whom you have spent enough time, you are capable of thinking like that. Yes or no? Right? Danny, what do you think?
Of course, yeah. Once that sync has been brought,
exactly.
We can see once I got a referral or I got a support, then I will be having an internal feeling how I can help him back.
Exactly.
That is I believe the main positive and the best point of BNI. If you have that
Exactly.
skill.
So that's what you really have to understand.
Yeah.
So when you ask me why am I getting better results in inter-regional conclaves where I'm working with my competitors, I'm working with other people, and I'm getting good synergies, but I'm not getting that at the regional level. This is a part of it. At the inter-regional level, there's no competition because you're working in different economic markets. At the regional level, you are working in the same economic markets and you are approaching the same market, right? But the fact is, you need to start building your relationships to a level where they understand exactly what your intentions are, how you will help them, and how they will help you. But the first thing I need to ask you is, are you doing this with your chapter properly? If you have not done this in your chapter properly, my suggestion to you is start doing this in your chapter properly. And then you will see that when you start doing this in your chapter properly, we start approaching you for regional roles. Like, Kaiser is an ambassador right now because he did something really fantastic when he was the president. And you need to continue doing that also, Kaiser sir. So Kaiser was, I think you did at least 300 one-to-ones in 2 months. You need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
300 one-to-ones in 2
it's
months, right? When you were the president.
yeah,
And there was, the kind of, and what he told me, Shabib, I'm getting more business now. Where I was not getting any business, I'm getting business now because he started doing the one-to-ones that started generating the benefit that we are talking about over here. So at level 6, you start becoming clone thoughts, and then it becomes, your meeting starts becoming very empowering. You need to build a relationship within your chapter. And believe me, once you start doing this within your chapter, right, you will not have time to handle the business that's coming to you. But you need to do it consistently. You can't just do it once and just ignore it. Relationship building is a consistent effort. The moment you stop investing in a relationship, it stops giving you the returns. Got it? So you need to always create touch points. Right? And if you ask me how you can do this regionally, it's the same thing. You need to, whatever you're doing in your chapter, you need to take it at the regional level. Now, so you might ask me, okay, then what is the best way for me now? Grow your chapter. Your chapter is still 22. Whatever time you are investing in going to other chapters, try to divert that into growing your chapter. And see, what will happen is you will start getting more long-term results. I mean, consistent results over a longer period of time, not results that will come after a long time. Okay. You'll start seeing consistent results coming to you over a longer period of time. Right? Does this answer your question, Nani?
Yeah, exactly. And one more thing is international level. I am looking forward, not like compete or something, because we are on Qatar is a small market and we have only in-house products very few, and we are needed third-party vendors and all to support us. So that level also, I need to have a good idea how we can use international BNI connections and all.
Yeah. So again, using BNI Connect, there's a workshop called BNI Connect workshop, which is coming up very soon. And I would recommend that you go to that workshop to learn how to use BNI Connect properly. And the answer to this question lies in that training.
Very good. We'll do that.
Okay, so go for the BNI Connect training, which will be coming up soon. The calendar is being released, and you can do that. Okay. All right. So, Kaisab, I will come to your question now. Thank you, Danny, for your patience. And yeah, so now increase referrals, and you have issues in inviting visitors, right?
Can I briefly explain
please, go ahead,
what is the question?
When
my question was increase referral, it means either side. How I can help and how I can receive. It's either side. So, Sharif sir, what is happening is every week I have been asking, and I'm not getting a proper response. The response in the sense maybe they are not connected, or they doesn't know the type of company or category I'm looking for. At the same time, I'm also facing same issues when they are asking, they ask, and even I'm not able to connect them because even I don't know those companies. I don't know, like how I can help the members. First of all, the helping the members. Say, if I help members, automatically I will get help from them. So I'm not asking about myself first. I'm asking how to help them. The number of ask what is happening. I'm literally, whenever people are asking, I'm literally searching on my systems, on the contacts, on the companies, whether I have dealt with them or we previously anyone in my company have dealt, so that I can connect them. But what I see is why maybe the category of companies what I am looking, or maybe the category of category of people what I am working with is not matching with the category of people what they are looking for. So I'm a little getting confused. From past 3-4 months, what I'm doing is whenever I'm sitting in the BNI, I'm opening my whole my contact list.
CRM,
My
opening
that
a
is my
CRM.
what I am doing from my side. That is nothing. No one informed me, but I wanted to help because what I understood during my presidency, if I help 100%, I'll be getting something. So that is by default. So what is that? The givers gain this thing. So that is the reason I was thinking like, let me first help, and then I will get automatically. I will get help. But I'm not able to.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I'll just briefly answer you on this. Okay.
Sure,
So,
sure.
So let me ask you something. Okay. You have seen a door, right? Like, let's look at a door like this. Okay. There's a door like this. Okay. And this is a door, okay, with a handle. And in the door, there is a small door which can be opened to receive something or give something. And in that one, there is a small door which can be opened to look at who is on the other side. Okay. Okay. You understand this door, right? There are doors like this. You might have seen this. I think in Europe and all, you will see some doors like this when you travel around. Right? So your chapter meeting is this door. Okay. Your one-to-one with your fellow members is this door. And your contact sphere is this big door. Okay. What you're doing is you're looking at the information. So what I'm saying is at the information being exchanged, what we are receiving to process. When you are looking at your chapter meeting only, you are actually seeing very small part of what is possible. Now, the good thing about BNI is that chapter meeting creates enough possibilities for a lot of people to succeed. Okay, because they're able to fit in much more information and than others through that small hole and make sure that others understand what they're looking for, or they are in a trade which is easily referable. Okay, but usually in the easily referable trades, what happens is the size of business is also small. A classic example. Okay, I'm going to share what Ayman has been telling me in the last few weeks. Okay, so Ayman told me, Shabib, I didn't remember this, but he came and he shared this with me. For the first 4 months of his membership, he made his weekly presentation and everything. And you know how much he got? He got $100 after 4 months. That's the business he got. So he came to me one day, till he reminded me about this incident. I didn't know about it, but last 2 weeks back, he reminded, and then I've been actually sharing this with a lot. He came to me quite upset. He had a meeting with his management, and they were asking, "You're spending so much time in BNI. There's no returns. What is this $100?" And Ayman is a very meticulous guy. He tracks every single real that comes from BNI. He's got a whole reporting system around how much business is coming from BNI. And then what happened is, he sat with me, and I asked him, what are you doing? Tell me what you're doing. And then he told me how he's doing his weekly presentation and everything. Then what I told him is, the mistake is not with BNI, the mistake is with you because you are not communicating the right things. And then I told him to communicate the right things. Okay. And then I told him during one-to-ones also, start doing the right things. Now, when you combine the one-to-ones and the right structure of communication, what happens is this bigger door opens. And then when you look at working with your contact spheres, the biggest door opens. Okay. So what is this difference? The difference is, yes, people are talking about their customers. Don't just look for the names to be same. Okay, because this is what we say, right? In the design of an ask, how do you design an ask? When you design an ask, the first thing is the industry they belong to. Right? The first thing. What's the second thing? The company name.
Company name.
Right? The third thing.
Person.
What activity they are doing. Fourth thing, decision maker. Position. And then the name. When you are reviewing your current client list against the ask of a member, apply all these filters. Do not look for only equivalence over here. Got it? Start looking at, okay, do I know this person? Have we dealt with this person? No. Are we dealing with people who are in similar positions? Got it? In your client list, are you dealing with people from the similar positions? Are you dealing with people who are doing similar activities as what has been asked? Do you know companies that is similar? Do you know somebody from the same company, or do you know some companies that are similar to the company that being asked?
Understood.
Do you know someone who's doing something in that industry? Just don't look for equivalence only over here. Not just here. Look for the whole thing.
Here I don't.
Apply your filters at different levels.
Yeah, here I shouldn't be very specific on the name, but I should be more thinking like a similar industry, similar company.
Yes.
Here I can rather connect them. That is not actual their ask, but similar to their ask.
Exactly.
It's a good thing. Like maybe I can try this pattern even.
Okay.
Because and so Shavib sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shavib sir, then based on this comment what you have made just now, that can I show you my example that how I can ask like this, like for example, if I'm asking
after I answer Kaiser's question, I'll give you a chance to practice this. Just give me a few more minutes. So what happens now, Kaiser, is now you will be able to give better, right? So how can you receive better? You need to make your ask in this way. And this is why we usually have that red color timer when we count down. You know, when you look at the screen, the timer becomes red at 10, right? Because to mention this, it takes 10 seconds.
Yeah. No, you trained us on this. Yeah, I know that. You have trained already.
This is basically a part of the member success program.
No, you have trained many times this.
Many times on this also I've trained you, right? So you need to actually follow this. And if you follow this properly, what you will start seeing is that you will be able to get better results as well as you'll be able to gain better results. But the fact is, just like how I told you right now, and I asked you whether are you applying these filters when you are listening to ask, many members are not applying that filter because they don't know. That's it. Now, when you just, it was always there in front of you. It's just that you are not applying it in that way. So, for everything that we do in BNI, we assume a lot of things, but actually there's a lot more things behind the scenes that is happening. And sometimes you just need to come for conversations like this, where you start becoming aware of these things. Okay. So if this happens, if you start applying your brain to filter these things, will you be able to generate more asks? I mean, more referrals, as well as will you be able to make more asks, which will get you results? It will, right?
Yes.
Okay, so does this answer your question on that?
Yeah. I will try this one.
Don't try it, do it.
Yeah. I will do this one. I will do this.
Because try means what happens is we are not yet convinced. You need to do this. Now,
No, I will do this. I will do this.
The reason why I tell people not to say try is, try means we are telling our brain, I'm not convinced yet. Let's see if this will work. Do this, okay, you will get a result.
No, I think this is the best way of doing. This is the best way of doing.
So it might not be always positive, but you can always work on making it better.
Correct.
Okay, so don't try. Just do it. See what's the result. If it's not creating the right result, we make it better by giving the right inputs again. Okay.
No, sir, I'm convinced. I'm convinced about this. I'm convinced.
Right, we'll just take Shakib's question on this question, and then I'll go to your next question. Shakib, what was it that you want to ask?
Actually, no, I want to practice, the way how you explain. Okay, I want to practice for only 10 seconds if you give me. Like, for example, that, I'm asking, my ask this week is Unigas. Okay. So, shall I say like this way that my specific ask is get me connected to procurement manager of Unigas, and they have a generator division. So we can supply them tanks for the generator division. So if you don't have a contact with Unigas, get me connected to the people who are in competition with Unigas.
Fantastic.
Shall I ask like this way?
So structure in this way. My ask is from the generator rental industry this week. The company name is Unigas. They are in the activity of renting generators along with fuel tanks. And I would like to supply them fuel tanks. I would like to get in touch with the procurement manager whose name is so-and-so.
Okay. In case I don't have the procurement manager name, because make some time I will have the name.
Getting procurement manager names is very easy nowadays, Shakib. You just need to go to LinkedIn and just type procurement manager Unigas, and most probably you will get it.
Okay. That is the case. Okay.
Yeah, most of the time you will get it. Okay. So again, I'm telling you, live BNI. BNI is not just what you apply when you're in the room. It's about what you do to grow your business all the time. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Excellent. All right. So I'm going to go to Mr. Kaiser's next question, last question. Having issues in inviting guests or visitors. Hey, what exactly is the issue, Kaiser?
Shavish, the people what I'm meeting, the clients what I have, like I have banking sector people I'm in touch with, or maybe not banking, maybe with large organization of these type of people. They don't prefer, like, whenever I'm speaking about BNI and everything, they're like, I don't think there is an advantages for them because they are working for some organization, big organization. I don't think there's an. So how should I go with the inviting visitors?
So which contact sphere you belong to in your chapter, right?
HR. Sorry, they have put me in HNI.
Yeah, HNI is your power team. So let's not talk about the power team. I'm talking about contact sphere.
HR.
Okay, which we are going to be also covering on Sunday. Power teams is a totally different thing from contact spheres, and I want you to focus on contact spheres right now. I'll just take this 1 second. Just let me take my.
Sunday we will be meeting on the contact sphere, right?
Yes, we are doing the meeting.
All ambassadors.
Yeah. So this is your contact sphere chart. Okay. 1 second. So obviously you are inviting visitors with a focus to grow your chapter, right?
Sure.
And what you are in is human resource, right? This is where you are. You can see HR, white collar outsourcing. Got it?
Correct.
Okay. Now, what happens is you really have to look at the open categories that is there in your chapter. Okay, look at the open categories that is there in your chapter. And what we have done is we have placed similar contact spheres nearby. So you will see legal and finance, where there is legal consulting available, business consulting, business advisor, HR consultancy, executive recruitment, educational consultants. Then you have office supplies, cleaning companies, property maintenance, freight logistics, serviced officers. You can also go into marketing, corporate photographer, corporate gifts, advertising agency, brand consultancy, and all those things, right? Now, when you are aware of these categories now, what happens is you mentioned you are basically meeting clients, and your interaction is with people who are essentially guests in BNI, right? Then coming to BNI doesn't actually grow your chapter. Yes, somebody could get a business, right?
Yeah.
So let's say You are somebody like that, and I am you. Okay, I'm talking with you. After our business conversations has happened, I'm Kaiser, okay, and I'm asking you, let's say Mr. Mark is your customer and you're Mr. Mark. Okay, Mr. Mark, thank you so much for your business and great conversation that we had, and I look forward to your continued business. Mr. Mark, I'm looking for a good stationery company that I could give referrals to. Do you know somebody who you are working with right now to procure your stationeries for your bank and is quite reliable to refer business to? Because I can introduce him to a group of people that I'm working with, a group of 35 people actually that I'm working with, who is giving me referrals and can give him also referrals to help him grow his business.
Yeah.
So what will Mr. Mark tell me now? You as
Yeah,
Mr. Mark, what will
maybe
you tell me now?
he may say if the person, the procurement head or something, if he is in good contact with that person, that company, he may say like, yeah, I know this. We are using XYZ company, and maybe I can connect you. Maybe they can help you, or maybe you can help them.
This is what you do. This is exactly what you do. But you need to be aware about those categories that is open in your chapter. If you're aware about those categories that is open in your chapter, you can always go and ask your existing clients, who is the best legal consultant that you worked with? Who is the best cleaning company you have worked with? Who is the best HR consultant you have worked with? Or who is the best fit-out company you have worked with? Who is the best waterproofing company when you had a water leak? Who did you work with to solve your water leakage? So when you ask these questions, you are aware about what is the primary categories in your chapter that is open, and you call 5 people and take 5 numbers, and then you call them. Then you tell them, hi, I got your number from Mark. I got your number from Jacob, or I got your number from Ahmed. And you tell them, the reason I'm calling you, they highly recommended you as somebody who can be referred for such problems. And I would like to introduce you to 35 people. I'm meeting them on Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. Are you available? It requires you to put in a bit of time. But the fact is, what you're also doing is you're growing your network. Because now what they will ask you is, that's very kind of Mark to refer me to you. But I would like to know what you do so that I can also introduce you to some people like Mark that I'm working with. What happens now? It's very basic conversations. This is what I'm telling you. Again and again, I keep telling people, BNI is not just what you do in the room or for the sake of doing BNI. It's how you live and practice what you're learning in BNI every day in your life, every minute. Things start changing in a big way. Small actions will start bringing big results. You never know, right, what kind of referrals these guys can give you, because they might be going to 10 other clients that you didn't even know existed, because you never knew they existed. And they were always coming to your client to supply those products or that solutions that they could give to your client. And you never knew they existed till you asked your client who is your office supplies guy or who is your cleaning guy. And they would be also working with similar clients, right? And this is how your network actually grows. You start getting more nodes in your network and you start getting more results from your network. All right. So try this and let me know how it works.
Yeah.
Very simple, right? Just 2 minutes.
Very simple.
Just 2 minutes more onto your meeting, but you will start getting so much better results.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure, sir.
So I hope this actually answers your question.
Both of my questions got answered, and I'm convinced on both of this thing. Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Get more people to come for these sessions.
Sure.
Because this is where we really answer that question that is there in their heads. Okay. Right. So if there's no other questions adding on to this, can I just ask all of you to give me what's your biggest takeaway today? So we'll start with Danny. Danny, what's your biggest takeaway today? Anybody, any questions before I go into the takeaways? Shakif, do you have any questions?
No, so far
right.
no.
Okay. So Danny, what's your takeaway today?
Yeah. Actually, the biggest takeaway is the positive energy I'm getting from all the sessions I'm having with you and the fellow people, Mr. Kaiser and Shakif. So it gives added energy, and also
The way you answered my question, Shakib's and Kaiser, this all will be helping our journey with BNI, and we are going to implement the same. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's all practical. All you need to do is do it. Okay, that's all I got to share with you. Shakib, what's your takeaway today?
Yeah, my takeaway is, outcome. My question was, what was the outcome of my last 3 weeks? And as I explained that my outcome was no outcome. So you explained me that, how to elaborate my specific ask. That is, which that I have learned properly today. That every week, whenever I will make an ask, I will add something, add something at the end, tail end. I will increase my tail. So maybe that will give me more result. Hopefully.
I'm telling you,
let me practice
you just learned a technique that is very powerful, because this is something most people don't do. They keep saying about what they do, and the ask is 2 seconds. Make the ask the majority part, and build your weekly presentations in a way that it's taking to make your ask more powerful, and see the results. It will be fantastic.
Okay. Maybe you missed one of the questions which you have written actually.
So that is from another participant. He didn't come today, so that's why I left it out.
So can you, are you allowed to explain or no?
Because it's in the context, right? So what he asks is how to maximize sales and achieve the target.
Yeah.
It's a very elaborate question. I would prefer that he is here. If you want an answer to that question, I would suggest that you ask in the upcoming sessions. Join for 2 sessions from now, and come here and ask that question, and I'll surely answer that. Okay? Because otherwise, what happens is we'll lose track of what we're doing, and then it will go to conflict. What you received today is good for you. Okay? Learn from it, and then going ahead and ask these questions when it becomes your question. Okay? I know that this question can be also your question, but grow into it. Ask it at a later stage. Now you have received what you wanted, so go ahead with that. Okay? And what we say is, the more we know, the more we know that we don't know. That's something that you learn as you go ahead. Kaisa sir, what's your takeaway today?
Sir, we think like things can be done only in this way. It's like a story of frog and lake, that small lake. So there is another way also things can be done. Like now, what you said is instead of specifically like see the category wise. That is one way, like which out of the box, which we were not able to think about. And maybe that is only because we brainstorming with you. Maybe that idea is coming. So this is how the new ideas comes, and we open out of the box and we go and do things which is out of the box. That is one. Second, also same thing. I was thinking like, okay, I will not be able to invite more visitors, but there is a way of doing that thing as well. Maybe it will not be like मैं ज़्यादा कर नहीं सकता, लेकिन but there is a way to do. Instead of inviting 10, maybe I can invite 4 or 5.
1, 2 quality guys, and then it really wonders. Exactly.
So as usual, out of the way, you always make us think you have done the same thing. So we are already a fan of your session. So always you sharpen us.
I just want you guys to do what I'm asking you to do. That's all. Being fans and all is good, but please do what we are sharing here. Okay, Danny, can you just come on the camera for a few seconds just to take a group picture? If you're okay. All right, 1, 2, 3. Just smile. All right, guys, got you guys, and thank you so much for spending your Thursday morning with me. I'm having one more session on Saturday. I have only 1 seat booked, so if you have anybody who is interested to come in, but you guys just give it some time. Maybe the session after that, okay? But please share the link. I will share the link with all of you, and share the link in your chapters and ask people to come for the Saturday session. I have 5 seats free for that. Okay. All right. All the best. See you guys. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Bye. Thank you, Mr. Danny. Mr. Sir, we spoke very.
I'll share the notes with you guys by PDF in your WhatsApp. Okay.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you.